Hi guys, and welcome to another video tutorial. This one we are going to be looking at the H3 player. So the H3 player will be absolutely new to everybody this year, as it's brand new for 2014. It's been devised to link all of the elements within the evening. It acts as a point of call for the guests so they know what is coming up now, next and later in the evening. And this will all become apparent when we go into it. But just to give you a brief overview of when the H3 player is required to be played. So you'll see the H3 player 6 times in an evening. The first one being at the very beginning of the night. The second one being before the widget workshop. The third video comes before i5 Live. The fourth video comes before the game show. The next H3 player is before the production show, and the final video being the close of the evening. You will know which video correlates to what. The start of the night and the before widget workshops are always performed by one of the widgets. So a widget will be within one of the main videos. Luke is always the main video to introduce i5 Live, and then the 3 remaining primetime videos are always performed by Amy. It's really essential that we put these in, as it creates the links between absolutely everything and it keeps everything flowing. A lot of the times you'll find that where the manager used to have to take off, say the widgets for example, it's actually now no longer that necessary, as a lot of this is already all within the H3 player. But when you actually watch these, you'll see that. So the first thing we have to do is we have to edit every single timeline that has been created so it works within your individual resort. Every resort is totally different, and me back in the office, I can't do timelines for every single resort, as everybody's is different and every rota is different. So this is where you guys have to come in. So basically we need to import each timeline individually, and then using your rota, so you know what's coming up next and later, you need to change what videos are within the timeline. So firstly, we'll do this. We have to import the timeline that we require. So to do this, we right click on timeline, and then we click import. We then head to within the timelines folder. Now there is an H3 player section. So if we start at the top, we have 90s game show. We then proceed to import this. If I head on to my window 2, which has all of my timelines in it. I can't capture the H3 player actually playing, but if you look now, you'll see this is what the H3 player actually looks like. You'll see the main video at the top, which sits on layer 3. You've then got now sitting on layer 4, next sitting on layer 5, and later or tomorrow sitting on layer 6. The main video is always in layer 3. So now if we head back to actually look at the timeline itself, if we double click to go into it, you'll see they're all very, very straightforward timelines. This is probably something you'll have to sit down with your ends manager just to make sure everything's right. I mean, it will probably take you about half a day to do them all, but it's a relatively straightforward task. You'll see that in a minute. So if we open up and go into 90s game show and just have a brief look into the actual timeline itself. So here we go. If I expand the whole window, you'll see it's basically a 25-second timeline with just one cue and one stop at the end. So if we break it down, as mentioned earlier, layer 3, that contains our main video. It's also got the loading wheel here, and then it's got the main video here, and then finally it's also got the loading wheel at the end. So we don't need to change this. The only places we need to concentrate are layers 4, 5 and 6. As mentioned, layer 4 contains now. You'll find I've probably done 95% of these. I would just double check to make sure I haven't made any mistakes, but you can see within this is another 90s game show. The file for that. If we then head into layer 5. So say for example, within your evening's rota, 90s game show, so Mc90s will always follow that. So I've already put this in for you. So just to give you a rundown of where you can find everything. All of the main videos are found in bank 105. All the nows are found in bank 101. All the nexts are found in bank 102. And all the laters found in 103. And all of the tomorrows found in 104. So for this one, we know 90s game show is then always followed by Mc90s. However, after that, we need to put in the mix. So we need to change this. So if we head into layer 6, which contains your later, if you head down into the source file, currently it says Electric City. We know that's not right. We know we need to be in bank 103, and we need to find in the mix. It's all in alphabetical order. So it's in bank 103, DMX address 22. So we right click on the source file, edit properties, already in bank 103, and we need to go to file 22. Then hit OK. That file will now change to in the mix, and then that is that one complete. So the next thing we need to do is just check to make sure it's all fine. As you can see, working up in this top corner. You'll see it on the screen. I can't show you my preview monitor at the minute, but it says now another 90s game show, next to Mc90s, and later in the mix, which is correct. The next thing we need to do now is, if we shut that down, we need to export that timeline as it's correct for your resort. So to do that, as you're all aware by now, timeline, right click, include H3 timeline, H3 player, 90s game show, yes. Export all queue commands, yes. Hit OK. And then if you just save over 90s game show. Yes, we do want to replace it because it's correct. This will export the correct version. Next thing to do is delete that. Right click on timeline and begin exporting the next, importing the next one. Obviously there are a lot of timelines here, however, once you've done it once and it's all set up, you've got 7 for the start of evening, 7 for the close of the evening. So it's just a case of going through them all and just adding in the relevant elements that come next and later. You'll also find that on the final close of the evening ones, there is a tomorrow. These will always be the same. It'll always have Widget Workshop, i5 Live, and then all you need to do is change what production show will be happening that evening. If you do have any questions about it, then just drop me a line, just give me a ring, or you can always just email us about it. Right. Cheers, guys. Thank you.